to ask you, Wendigoon, what, to get very serious, not really, but like, what is, because I know you're a Christian, what is the point of like the Christian sects where you're like, I think I have more not in common with you than in common with you? Like, because like most like Christians I've talked to about like Mormons will say like they've got the gist of it, but they are way out of line on a lot of fucking shit. But you know, they kind of got the core a bit right, other than the whole like other testament thing.
Yeah. I as far as Mormons go, I'm pretty absolutely removed from them. Everyone that I've talked to, I have absolutely no idea what they're talking about. It's like, what, did you just make that part up? Which they're like, yeah.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah, that's the vibe. But yeah, them definitely far removed from things like Jehovah's Witnesses and all that. Anything that involves new revelations. So like, you know, you had the Bible, you had like, which the New Testament, which is the most recent part of the Bible, is entirely written by people who were alive and either were with Christ or were friends with the disciples who like wrote letters to them or whatever. So that's like Jesus. And then if any religion is like, yeah, and then 800 years later, there was a second part. That's where I'm like, no, I don't play ball with that. Because at that point, they're just adding stuff for their own, you know, whatever objective they want to get across.
Are you besmirching David Smith?
Yes, I am. As a matter of fact, a little. Yes,
good,
a lot.
Because that was the greatest con man this side of the Mississippi.
This side, both sides of the Mississippi, because he got booted to the other side.
Fucking shit. Oh
but him, I'm not Catholic. Catholics are closer because, you know, they still believe in Christ and all that. Not a fan of like the church as an office or, you know, the Pope or the orders of the priest and all that. But if you believe in Christ, then, you know, we've got something to talk about. But there's a lot of people who they had a lot of asterisks to that term, a lot of the new ideas.
Thing, like most of my family's Catholic, but like the whole praying, like to like including Mary in your prayers was always to me like, what are we doing here? Like, there's no part in the New Testament that says to include Mary. It seems like this is a bunch of pomp and circumstance that they included, kind of like the Pharisees and Sadducees back in the day, to keep people kind of constricted based on ritual than by social constraints than by anything else. Like the same way confession, like if you've seen the bullshit people say now about like confession, actually like the reason it's a thing is because like the priest is meant to be like someone who helps you through problems. And it's like, no, that was not the impetus of confession. The impetus of confession was a way to goad an entire community into spilling secrets to a central position that then could use that information to control. Like no, literally in the fucking Bible, Jesus says, what did Jesus say? Did he say that when you pray, go into public loudly and raise your arms? No, Jesus said, when you pray, do not go into public and raise your arms and scream as the Pharisees and Sadducees do. Instead, go into your room in private. Just you and the Lord. Isn't that what Jesus said? I was under the impression that was kind of spelled out in the middle of John, but I guess not, or no, Luke. Like, I really, that always fucking turned me the wrong way about Catholicism, is like, it takes all of what Jesus came back to do, which is fulfilling the covenant and making it so that the separation of fabrics and the not eating of pork, the shellfish, all this stuff was fulfilled. It's not to be followed anymore. And to tack on an additional layer of like, oh, now you have to worry about paying money to get out of, to get your relatives out of purgatory. Like that's a despicable perversion of, if you believe in Christ and you believe that's what he came to do, that doesn't really gel. And I'm not even a religious person, really.
Wow, like, that was cool. Sunday school Taylor popped out there. That was nice. I like that.
I want some consistency there, and I don't like. And the Catholics I know are good people. The vast majority of them are Christmas and Easter Catholics who don't care about it, who don't do. People don't know this. Most Catholics don't do confession. Like they don't go and do that shit.
Of course not.
You know, but like the whole impetus of it is like gross. It was a way to get dirt on people who trusted you and then use it for material gain. Fucked up.
Is that true?
I get all my information from the Passion of the Christ.
It is 100% true.
Mel Gibson will set you straight.
Mel Gibson, he knows.
Mel Gibson.
Right on it.
I just rewatched Braveheart the other night, like an absolute retard. Love you. Always have. Like I fucking started the movie at like 11:20 at night, and then like I got into it and I just couldn't stop because it's so good.